Evening, everyone. I'm Raquel, and tonight we have Deranged Lunatic and Thade. How are you guys doing?
We're good.
All right.
Mm-hmm. I had a lovely, some kind of lovely day. I took a nice walk. Nice and sunny and breezy. It's better weather than Texas, which is really hot, humid, and sticky.
Yeah, another 90-degree day today. Let me tell you.
Jeez. I
tell you what, here.
I am enjoying the breeze while I'm still here in Ohio.
Yeah.
I bet.
It's 90s and I think it's gonna be up to 100 tomorrow here in Missouri, and hot and humid and very little breeze.
I got a friend that lives up there in Missouri. I think she's in Decatur. I think it might not be Missouri. I think it might be Michigan. Never mind, it's Michigan. Duh.
Yeah, back home in
That's all
Texas, it says it was 96 today.
Yeah, it was horrible. It was wet, sticky, hot, and ew.
Let's see.
Ew,
well,
ew.
I'm just in Ohio right now visiting family. What was the temperature today? 81 degrees. Not bad. With a nice.
No, not bad at all.
Supposed to rain. It's supposed to rain tomorrow all day.
That is freaking amazing.
So I won't able to do my daily stroll tomorrow.
Oh no! Don't do that. Here's Thade for the weather report from Texas. The weather was hot and crappy, with a hot and crappy weather front coming in again tomorrow. It's so hot down
tomorrow. Tomorrow will be even crappier.
I don't know about you guys, but I want better days ahead.
Me too.
Not more crappy stuff.
Yeah.
Well, on the cancel culture front, there a whole lot more celebrities are stepping out against cancel culture, so maybe that's going to go the way of the dodo here soon.
Really, the celebrities are going against cancel culture. How this change?
Well, we've got Kevin Hart, the comedian. He's told people to shut up and start letting comedians be comedians again. Charles Barkley, the ex-basketball player, he's jumped on the bandwagon now, saying, "Hey, he's a sports announcer now, and he has a real good rapport with the people down here in Austin. And there's this particular joke that he has with the crowd in Austin whenever he comes to Austin, and apparently one person got all butthurt about something he said and went on Twitter, and now she's calling. It's just one freaking person calling to have him canceled. And Chris Rock, of course, has jumped on the wagon, and it's a lot of like comedians and sports people that are just suddenly all of a sudden stand up and going, "Okay, enough is enough, guys." I mean, we've had, because of the pandemic and because a lot of people have been shut up inside and had nothing to do, all of a sudden the world is being paid, certain things that were really never a thing before are being paid attention to. And it comes down to the fact that people have been bored. So they've been paying attention to like celebrities and movies and comedy and stuff like that. And now people are getting all butthurt over something that they have no business getting butthurt over. And it's just going that way, but now, after a year and a half of this shit, people are starting to go, "Hey, hold on a minute. Stop. This is getting fucking ridiculous," Which it is.
Yeah, I really think this
be freaking S.
This woke cancel culture, gender identity has just gone too far.
It really has. All of this politics of feelings.
The politics too.
All of the politics of feelings versus fact, it's just really gone way too far. And, with at danger of being canceled myself, if anybody hears this and gets upset about it, look, man, I'm all cool with whatever people want to call themselves, but when you sit here and pressure people into going along with it when it's taken you years to figure out who you are, I think it's a little harsh to expect somebody to suddenly be on the bandwagon. You got to give people time. You know what I'm saying? I've had this situation in my own life, and I won't go into details, but it's somebody very close to me that I used to be in a certain situation with, and now they're changing, and they're expecting me just to be okay with it. And it's not that I'm not, man. Be who you want to be, man. Be happy, be you. You know what I'm saying? But don't sit here and expect me not to change the way I deal with you to a certain degree, because you're suddenly demanding that I get used to this just all of a sudden. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I just, all I have to say, really, in the interest of being PC, I guess, or as PC as I can be, which is very hard for me, by the way, because I'm very opinionated. In the interest of being PC,
not wrong with that.
I just want to say, hey, look, everybody who's listening, the world out there beyond, let's just learn to be people again. Let's not label ourselves. Let's not force labels on other people. Let's just kind of, I don't know, chill. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's easier to be a human being than it is to label yourself with labels, especially when you want to label yourself, but then you get mad at other people who label you. You know what I'm saying? Like, they want to use labels, but then they get mad if somebody else labels them, and it just doesn't make any sense to me, man.
No, it's like these pronouns things, I don't really understand them. It's just confusing.
Well, I make the joke, and it's a joke, literally a joke. And in my personal life, I haven't had anybody but like one or two people get butthurt about it. But like on my life online, my social media life, I've had a lot of people jump my ass over this, and I've actually been canceled a couple of times myself on Facebook. Look, I don't care what you identify as. Biologically speaking, what you were born, scientifically speaking, is male or female. I was born a man, but sometimes I identify as an Apache attack helicopter. But that doesn't.
All right, then.
It's like Ben Shapiro says, and I know a lot of people don't like Ben, but hey, I listen to him, and I think he's got a lot of good ideas. But it's like Ben Shapiro says, facts don't care about your feelings.
Nope, and they don't.
A lot of people cherry pick scientific facts, especially on that side of the spectrum. They wanna push you with like this COVID thing, man. You have to pay attention to the facts and all of this, everything, the coof and all that. But they want to be all scientific about that. But then when you come at them and go, hey, look, even if you were born male and you consider yourself female, even if you're going through a biological, well, not a biological, but a hormonal change, say you're getting reassignment surgery or whatever, even if you fully transition from male to female, anytime you go to the hospital to get like a treatment for anything, they're still going to have to know that you were originally a biological male, because that matters to what treatment they can provide you. And
it doesn't matter. I mean, because I'm sorry, but I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's okay. But being in the medical field myself, I have to look at it from a scientific standpoint. But, a lot of these people want to be scientific on this whole climate change thing, and they want to be scientific on this whole gender thing, but they don't want to be scientific about it when I'm trying to sit here and say, hey, you're wrong. Scientifically speaking, you can't cherry pick this issue because this is biological fact. And what you're going by is feeling and emotion, And doesn't matter. You could have the engine of a Dodge Reliant or a Chrysler Reliant, but have the outside appearance of a Lamborghini. Doesn't make you a Lamborghini. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just makes you happy with yourself because now you appear to be what you feel like you are inside. And my biggest problem is, and this is where I'm not going to be PC, so forgive me, Raquel. My biggest problem is now they're teaching this shit to our kids that are below 15.
What's the word? They're
indoctrinating.
Yes.
Indoctrinating, yes.
And that's my problem. Keep that shit out of our schools. Leave it in the colleges where the people are old enough. Leave that in the colleges where people are old enough to make that decision. Do not teach it to my kids that are in elementary school. Do not teach that shit to my people that are under the age of 15 and can't make that decision for themselves. Because now they're coming up with this fucking rule now that they want to do, this law that they're wanting to pass, that if your 5-year-old kid comes to you and goes, well, Daddy, I'm a boy, when she's a girl, and you don't let them get a transition that young, which can actually be medically irresponsible and can hurt the child, they are going to try to charge you with child abuse and take your kids away from you. And that is where you're pushing it too damn far, in my opinion. Keep that shit out of our schools. Keep that shit away from our kids until they are old enough to decide for themselves. And 5 years old, hell, even 15 years old is not old enough to decide that for yourself. I didn't know what the hell I wanted to be at 15.
I didn't either.
No, I still don't know.
That being said, I was a father at 15, but I didn't know that, that just kind of happened because I was irresponsible, but is that necessarily what I wanted to be at the time? No, it isn't, but it happened, and I just think that too much is
you have to step up and
they're trying to take, in my opinion, they're trying to take way too much away from our rights as parents. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to take that out of our hands, and the hell with you. Come at my kids with that shit and you will find out what kind of an alpha wolf I fucking am, dude.
They're definitely overstepping their bounds, that's for sure.
Yep.
I have a 5-year-old daughter right now, and I know this for a fact. Leave my fucking kids out of this.
Agreed. Speaking of wolves, hey, Dark World Stin Show. Hey, Bianca. How you guys doing?
Hey.
Evening, Dark Wolf Stin. Thanks for agreeing with me. I did notice that in the comments. Right on, brother. As for Bianca, how you doing? I don't know if I've met you or not, but hi.
But, even if people have this surgery, their DNA is still going to say they were male or female. I mean, you could have all the best surgery in the world.
Like, medication changing your hormones, it's going to screw up with your hormones. Don't mess with that.
Well, what a lot of this is going to do in the future, and a lot of people don't realize this, is all of these people who have decided they want to be one thing or the other, they transition. And a lot of that hormone treatment causes people trouble, especially women. You suddenly start flooding a female's body with testosterone after they've been a biological female for 20 plus years. That's going to cause a lot of problems. And people aren't looking at the science behind it. They're not looking at the biology behind it. They're just looking at, this is how I feel inside. Well, that's all well and good. I grew up knowing guys that dressed as women, okay? But that didn't mean they were trying to change who they were. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. And it's not like what I'm saying doesn't mean I'm not understanding. I get it. I went through a period in my life where I was unsure of myself. But that being said, it's only momentary with a lot of people. And I'm starting to wonder here in 10 years, 15 years, if these people aren't going to regret their decision because they jumped on a bandwagon. You know what I'm saying? They rode a wave of, we can say this is what we want now. But then like some of these kids that are making this decision in their teens, are they going to regret it in 10 or 15 years when they've matured enough to know who they are?
Most likely.
And then, you can't, going back is transitioning for one thing, biologically, well, not biologically, but sexual transition, hormonal transition is 70% at best, okay? And if you go from being male to female, and then you try to transition back from female to male, there are scientific studies that prove that it's even less of a chance of being able to to successfully transition back. You know, if all of a sudden, oh my God, I made the wrong decision, you know? It's just, I'm a very logical human being, and this bothers me. This bothers me a great deal. Especially, like I said, like I stressed earlier, when you bring it out about the young. You know, okay, I get it. 20 years old, sure enough, you're old enough to make your decision. Go do your thing. You know what I'm saying? Hell, even 18, in my opinion. But when you're 15 years old, you barely know what fucking college you want to go to, what you want to do with your life. So then how is it you can just all of a sudden decide something as important as your identity for the rest of your life? You know what I'm saying? Hell, to be truthful with you, I did not have my own identity outside of what my family was. And I mentioned partially what that was earlier. I didn't have an identity outside of my family until I was damn near 30, you know? And that's when I started being me and not trying to live my life making everybody else happy. You know what I'm saying? And I just cannot reconcile this with all these people that are under 18 suddenly all of a sudden deciding that's what they want to be. It's bullshit. You know, I mean, and if you haven't noticed, a lot of the people that are jumping on this bandwagon are within a certain age period. It's like from 15 to like 30.
Yeah.
When they're supposed to be in a growing and finding yourself sort of situation. But they're kind of, in my opinion, they're going backwards. You know, they're being confused by the media. They're being confused by peers. They're being confused by what the government says or this or that. They're being confused by a lot of this stuff. And they haven't really had, I mean, they're being bombarded with this shit. And nobody's giving them a chance to sit there and decide who they want to be. You know, you can confuse a person even in their 20s real easy. You know, I remember getting drugged around by my hormones back in my 20s, you know, making bad decisions when it came to women. You know, there's a reason why I've been married 3 times. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's not that it was it's not that it was their fault entirely. It was on me too. You know what I'm saying? It's just,
oh, sure.
Before you're 30 years old, I think there's got to be a grace period. You know, there's got to be a period of, you know, maybe where doctors go, well, hold on, wait a few more years. I mean, they used to do that shit, you know, wait a few years, you know what I'm saying? And now it's like, suddenly it's child abuse if you don't let kids do it. I mean, come on now. There's a certain point to where peer pressure versus you and life has to fucking diverge. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make any damn sense to me. That being said, you know, whatever. It is what it is, you know. But I just,
yeah.
I don't know. It's just, and here I am taking over the stream. I'm sorry, guys. I just
No. You're making that perfect sense.
Yes.
I don't know. And, you know, I try to tell people jump my ass about my politics and everything. And I try to tell people, because, you know, I get called a right-winger all the time. And I'm not. I'm actually a centrist, which means that I kind of have views on both sides, you know?
Yeah.
I don't have completely right views and I don't have completely left views. I'm kind of in the center going, well, let's do what's best for humanity, you know? I'm not all about money on the right side, and I'm not all about, you know, the narrative on the left. You know what I'm saying? I'm just kind of, let's do something that makes freaking sense, you know? Let's go back to, okay, look, here's my campaign slogan if I ever run for office. Let's make common sense great again.
You know, let's go back to the entertainment that it was fun. It doesn't have all these woke stuff in politics.
People go see movies and stuff for escape. They don't want to be preached at.
They don't want to be lectured. They don't want to be preached at. They want to be safe to be entertained for being entertained, just to get away from reality for a while.
Well, you know, it's like I say, you know, whenever it's not, you know, I have to say this. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to word this. I'm not really eloquent sometimes. when it comes to being a comedian, okay,
Sounds
and
good to me.
When I dabble, I've dabbled in stand-up comedy and stuff like that. I've gone to the comedy clubs here where I live and done some open mic nights and stuff like that. And I will say the same thing that Chris D'Elia said. I tell my audiences this all the time. I will never apologize for some shit I say on stage. No matter how people try to push me, I will never apologize for some shit I say on stage. And the reason for that is, what is a comedian's job? A comedian's job is to not only entertain you and make you laugh and get your mind off of what's going on, it's also to show you mainly the absurdity of life. Okay? So when a comedian says something about, people telling him that rape's not a laughing matter, but he says it is, he's not necessarily saying he's okay with rape. He's saying that you can laugh about anything. You can't, if you spend your whole life taking everything so damn serious, you're not going to have a pleasant existence. Okay? You're always going to be depressed. You're always going to be anxious. You're always going to be unhappy. Okay? If you can't let your hair down and actually laugh for once, then what's the fucking point? What are you doing? You're just wasting your time. And you're wasting a life given to you by whatever you believe in. You know what I'm saying? It comes down to, right now, we are raising a civilization of people that are anxious, depressed, medicated, overly medicated, mind you, because they are bombarded on a daily basis for what the herd thinks they should be instead of what they think they should be. Used to be everybody had a fucking mind of their own, and if you didn't have a mind of your own, most people didn't take you seriously. And now we have this herd mentality, this everybody's got to go with the narrative, everybody's got to do this and that, and you just can't fucking do that, man, and have a happy life. You just can't.
Yeah, bunch of drones. That's what they are, a bunch of drones.
Sheep, drones, fucking cabbages in a field, man. And you're never going to do anything with your life if you continue to be that way. You're never going to make your mark.
I call them sheeple.
Sheeple, cabbages, fucking drones, And like I said, you're never going to be who you are meant to be if you continue to let the herd lead you. The reason why we don't have any strong alphas in this world anymore is because everybody's
they're a bunch of soy boys. That's what they are.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's and Fed has a thing about saying, that's the fault of this or that, and it could be. He could be right, and I'm not saying he's not. But I also say it's down to choice, and a lot of people are not making their own choices. A lot of people are just letting the herd suit them, and I can't do that, man. I try to be neutral, but now I can't do it, man. I've had to stop talking to one of my own children due to this shit because she's constantly in my face about stuff. And I'm like, look, I raised you a certain way. I also raised you to think for yourself, and you're not thinking for yourself, and that makes me sad. And then I get told,
so how old are your kids?
Huh?
How old are your children?
I have a 30-year-old son. I have 3 girls that are in their early 20s, and I have a couple that are below 18. And it's just, it comes to a point where, when your own kid is staring you in the face and going, okay, boomer, and telling you you're wrong and you're old-fashioned and you're a racist. And I've never once in my life been racist. Even when I was hanging out with people that were racist, I was not racist. And it hurt me to have to do it, but I walked away from my own daughter, and I barely communicate with her at this point because of the way the world is. You know? Nobody can agree to disagree anymore, you know? And that upsets me.
Nope.
I mean, you don't have to agree with everything I say, you know? I mean, and in fact, I encourage you not to agree with everything I say. I encourage you to debate me, because maybe that'll change something I need to look at. You know what I'm saying? Always leave yourself open for change. Always leave yourself open for something that makes logical sense, but don't leave yourself open to the herd leading you around by your ears. Otherwise, you're going to go down to the watering hole with the herd, and a crocodile is going to grab you. Because you're not being conscious. You're not paying attention to things. You're not being who you should be. You know what I'm saying? You're just going, oh, well, they're all going, well, let's go to the water hole. And maybe they're leading you to be the bait. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the herd is dragging you down so they don't get eaten, you know?
Yeah.
Because I hate to say it, but it's a dog eat dog world out there, man. And I know that's cliche as shit, but
but it's true.
Go ahead.
No, if that's true, what you're saying is true. It's a very true statement.
You know, I mean, in anybody's given life, okay, there's only going to be like a handful of people that actually really do deeply care about you. Okay.
Yeah.
And you know, you may know 100,000 people. You know, I'm just spitballing here, but you may know 100,000 people in your life, but only like 6 or 8 of them are going to be that close enough to you that they care about you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And you have a responsibility to show them that you can do this on your own. You know, that you're not led, that you're not a sheep. You have the responsibility to yourself of your own happiness. Okay. Never give your happiness over to anyone. And I'm not talking just happy, ha, ha, ha. I'm talking a happy life, a calm life, a successful life. You know, you can't let anybody else have control of your happiness. You know, you've got to, how do I put this? You've got to, if you let anything take your happiness, drugs, alcohol, another person, your children, your spouse, if you allow them to control what makes you happy or sad, or allow them, you know, if you live for somebody else far too long, that you're not living for yourself, then you give away your control. You give away the control of your happiness and your life and your success to that person or that thing or that vice or that, you know, whatever. And if you give away your control, you're powerless. If you have no power, then you have no identity. And if you have no identity, then who are you? You know what I'm saying? And yeah. I learned that the hard way in my life, because I spent most of my early life into my 20s doing everything that my family wanted me to do. I was a perfect little family drone. Okay. And I did some things that I am not proud of because my family said it was necessary. Shh, hush.
The doggy wants attention.
Yeah, I know. I'm petting him. He's just whining at me because I'm monologuing, and he's like, "Okay, you're a supervillain. Stop it." But you know, he's, you know, my family. You know, I had to do a lot of things for my family that, if I didn't make my old man happy, or if I didn't, you know, please the people in charge of my family, the patriarchs or the matriarchs or whatever, then I wasn't anything. You know what I'm saying? I was shit, and I wasn't worth it, and I wasn't good enough. And now it's like, no, you got to think for yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I went through drug addiction and homelessness and a whole bunch of shit, depression and everything else, until I learned in my early 30s to live for myself. You know, and now, I mean, I'm not exactly in the position I want to be in, or I would like to be in, or I should be in by now. But at least I'm happy, you know. Now, does that mean I don't have some shitty things happen in my life? No, I actually had a very rough day today because of an ended relationship and some other stuff going on. And I felt kind of lonely today, but that doesn't mean that I'm completely unhappy with my life. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm trying to do this YouTube thing. I'm trying to come up with ideas for my own channel and my own, episodes and stuff. I'm trying to, maybe something I say can save somebody else's life one day. I don't know.
Yeah.
I kind of want to segue everything that I've learned for myself and all this growth that I've had over the last 10 years or so into something that maybe can help other people,
Sure.
And in the climate today, that's just going to be very hard because a lot of people, because I don't go by the narrative. I don't follow the party line. I don't do this or that. And, I've often said that if I ran for office, that I'd probably be the one they assassinate,
Yikes.
But, but then again, me and Fed made the joke the other night on one of the streams that we were going to run for president.
What's that?
Oh, it was a YouTube commercial.
Something. Yeah, I had to silence it real quick.
Commercials, not here, please, not here.
Commercials.
What's that?
Ads.
Suck ads.
Yeah, especially I don't get ads on YouTube anymore because I'm using YouTube Premium.
Yeah.
Which is a lot better. I know I shouldn't pay for YouTube, but I just can't really stand the freaking ads.
I don't like ads either, but I don't want to give YouTube money.
I used to pay for YouTube Premium, but I've just got too many other things that I'm paying for right now, and it's one of those things that had to go by the wayside,
Right.
Because, I don't watch regular television anymore. I mean, in my apartment complex, we get free satellite, but I barely ever watch it. A lot of my stuff comes from streaming services, and if I don't keep my streaming services up, then I kind of get bonkers, And
I don't watch TV anymore. I just mostly do watch stuff on my computer. That's it.
Yeah. Well, I have Metro PCS on my phone, so they give me Amazon Prime Video for free and Amazon Prime Music. I get that for free, so there's movies and TV shows there. And then I pay for HBO Max because I like some of the stuff that's coming on to HBO Max, over this coming year. And for a little bit there, I was paying for Netflix, which I will start paying for again in October because the one show I was watching on Netflix comes back in October. So what I do with Netflix is until that show's on, I don't pay for it, So I'll go in and they drop that show, they drop all the episodes of the season in one day. So I go over there, I pay for the month. So I pay, $9 for the month so I can watch that show. And then I don't pay for it again until the show comes back again. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Me and TL have been watching, or currently we're watching, a Netflix series called The Roman Empire.
I've actually watched that one. I like it.
Mm-hmm. The other series on Netflix we watched was The Rise of Empires, the Ottoman, and another Netflix series that we saw was The Lost Pirate Kingdom. Yeah,
you guys were talking about that the other day. See, I don't often talk about it because, over on Ved's channel, we kind of get into the weird and the esoteric and the scientific, but I'm a real big history buff. In fact, that was one of my minors in college was history. And I actually know quite a bit about world history. I just see, I have a real big problem with, whenever I'm talking on a stream like this, I sometimes think I sometimes feel like I'm being a know-it-all but I like to let people know the things I know. It's not like I'm trying to be that way with people. It's that I'm just trying to, hey, this is something I know, maybe you don't, and
right.
With me, it's kind of like I'm a little kid, and sometimes when a little kid knows something and they feel all proud of knowing that thing, they're just like, hey, look what I know. That's kind of why I do it. I'm not doing it to be. I'm not doing it to be like Sheldon, off of Big Bang Theory. I'm just literally doing it because it makes me happy to know I know that. So I'd like other people to know that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
Mm-hmm. You know what you know.
I have to say, a lot of people on YouTube that I've dealt with in our stream and the different streams I've been in and all that, like when I've talked in Peach chats and when I've been on Raquel's streams and when I've been with Fed or with Jesse, a lot of people are like, man, we like hearing Fade talk or this or that. And it kind of gives me a high, kind of makes me feel good. Especially since a lot of the time, if I'm not at work, I'm sitting here by myself with a chihuahua,
Chihuahua.
I love the little shithead to death, but he doesn't talk like other humans do.
Yeah. Now if you could just get him to talk.
Well, it's like I'll sit there and watch a whole TV show and I want to discuss the TV show, and it's really nice to have other people to discuss it with, or I'll have some sort of scientific theory breakthrough in my head, and I want to share it with other people to get their opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And this kind of helps me with as an outlet. You know what I'm saying? It actually does help me more than people realize, and I appreciate it.
I definitely can relate to that, Zaid.
I hope everybody can relate to that. We all need someone to listen. We all need someone to care. Like I said earlier, you may only have a handful of people that truly care about you in your life, but that's a good feeling. Nobody likes feeling alone.
No one likes to be alone. Loneliness is like, well, to me, the number one thing that can really get a person down.
Yeah. Well, I think the very first stream I was ever on your channel, and everybody was was so good to me, and I thanked everybody at the end of that channel. At the end of that stream, you were there, Raquel. I think even you were maybe deranged.
Yeah, it's nice to be welcomed and appreciated who you are as a person and a friend.
Yeah. And it's like I told Courtney one night when I was talking to her, I say, I told her everybody on YouTube that I appreciate, that have taken me into this little group of weirdos we have, appreciate my opinions and let me voice them and everything else, and that, agree with me or even debate with me. I appreciate everybody. I don't think I've had any haters yet, to be honest, aside from, what we've talked about, Raquel, the issues with a certain somebody's simps, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But, and to be honest, I don't even really hate that person. I don't really I dislike them a great deal because I think that they're negative. And I dislike the fact that their simps come after me. But I don't hate them, it's not that it's not a thing of hate or that I want them to fail even. I mean, it's all good, do you, but don't send your people after me just because I say something you don't like in a chat. You know what I'm saying? Right. Just because I disagree with you and I think you're a negative human being, don't sit there and send your simps after me and have somebody that I thought was a friend of mine for almost a year now on Peach channel suddenly tell me that I'm not even worth listening to,
Everybody has their own opinion. You don't have to agree with someone else's opinion.
I mean, there's been things I've disagreed with Fed about. There's been things I've disagreed with nobody about. There's been things I've even disagreed with Jesse Miller about. And I am not in the state of mind where I have to agree with everything. And people don't have to agree with me either. I understand there's going to be differences in the world. I think two of the biggest things that the human race has forgotten how to do is A, agree to disagree, and B, just to genuinely love each other in even the simplest way. You know, I mean, you don't have to know a person to love a person. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has a right to exist. Okay. And you don't have to please me to exist. Okay. Even if I completely disagree with you, and even if I completely turn you aside or what have you, you know, even if I don't want to listen to your content, doesn't necessarily mean I want you to fail. You know.
Right.
I just want you to maybe look at the things you're doing when I disagree with you, and maybe you'll be a happier person, you know. A lot of that group of people that Raquel and I have talked about, they're just negative about everything. Nothing makes them happy, and nothing makes them smile, and it just hurts me when I see people do that, you know. And it hurts me watching other people tear them apart because that's what they do. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it's disheartening, you know, as a race that we have forgotten how to love each other. And it's not just apparent on YouTube. I mean, look at the world. You have BLM, and you have Antifa, and you have, you know, our country is tearing itself apart, and we're supposed to be one of the strongest countries in the world, and we can't even get along with each other. You know, I don't have to agree with you to love you, and I don't have to see eye to eye with you to love you and to care about you. You're a human being. You deserve to exist. You deserve to have your opinion. And because you're a human being, and because you exist, and because you have an opinion, I'm going to care about you one way or the other. That's why I got into the line of work I got into. It isn't because of money. It isn't because of prestige or anything like that. It's because I want to be able to help people in a time of grief to process that grief. You know, I don't want I don't want the only thing that I think about to be the money. I don't want the only thing that I think about to be where my status is in life. Because I spent most of my life up until my 30s doing that. All I cared about was what made me happy. All I cared about was how I could get above everybody else. And I'm tired of being a selfish human being. It gets nobody anywhere. And I think I'm going to let somebody else have the floor because, again, I've been monologuing for almost an hour.
No, you have excellent points.
You're fine.
You have excellent points.
I just, and this is kind of coming out of what happened earlier in my emotions today. I don't know. It is what it is. Life goes on. Life isn't always what you want it to be. But if you spend every day finding something to smile about, something that makes you happy, even if it's a song or a TV show or as simple as a picture you find online or even a silly chihuahua, just find something that makes you happy.
Yeah.
That's why I appreciate you, Raquel, a lot, because you're a sweet person. And
thank you.
Listen, and you're inviting, and you understand what it is to care about somebody.
I do. I do care about my friends. And sometimes, maybe sometimes I came off a little too strong, or something like that, and that sometimes gets me in a little trouble with someone. But I don't mean it as I don't mean it as just a disrespect or anything like that. It's just I just really care about that person. But then things get all befuddled and feelings get hurt and you just don't know why. And it's hard to move on with those feelings get hurt.
But the thing about hurt feelings is, and this is again something I've learned in my life, hurt feelings can heal. It might take a little time. And, not everybody that's in your life is meant to be there for a long time. I have had a whole lot of people that I cared about and still care about walk out of my life, and it's disheartening.
It sucks.
And it hurts.
It sucks. Yeah, it sucks that the person you sort of considered a friend, that you trusted, that you respected, the person you spend time with to get to know this person, and you can't, for some reason can't be friends anymore. It's really heartbreaking.
It is. And, I've even gone through that, like I said, here on YouTube. I disagreed with somebody that they see as some sort of idol, and all of a sudden I'm the bad guy.
Yeah, for just this harmless mistake you didn't mean to annoy or harm that person, you get bullied, discriminated, ousted, cut off from that you believe you didn't deserve.
And that's why this cancel culture thing is destructive. That's why what was going on a couple weeks ago was not conducive to anything. When that specific person went off at those other people and started tearing apart that group, but it spilled over into us even, you know what I'm saying? And we're not even a part of it, but it spilled over onto us. It spilled over onto people that we care about, people that we talk to, people that we're friends with. And then to watch those people have to go through that heartache too, even though they are, in my opinion, a very strong person. He didn't deserve that either. I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about, Raquel.
Right. It doesn't have to be a group. It can be from a person as well.
Yeah. And to be sat there and when I defend that person.
Yeah, it feels like you've been betrayed. And that's really hurtful. Like,
when I sit there and defend the person and I get told that I'm wrong for defending that person, fuck you. I can defend who the fuck I want to defend. Especially when the other person in the situation has lied or been deceitful or acts the way they do. You know what I'm saying? And there's no reason for that person to be that way. There's no reason for that person other than to get clicks. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And we've discussed that person before and what that person does that I feel is wrong when it comes to YouTube. And now it's even spilling into people who aren't even a part of it, and they're making their opinion. And some of it's positive and some of it's negative, a whole lot more negative than positive, let me be honest. But it's like, okay, look, everybody's entitled to their opinion. But when you start dragging people through the mud, that's where I have to step up and say, hey, hold on a minute. That's not what this is about. You went after somebody else, and then you went after this person, and this person didn't do a damn thing to you. And that person that you went after has receipts that they didn't do what you said they did. But then you've got your little horde of followers that attack me because I defended my friend. And it's like, and that being said, one of those people I thought was a friend of mine. We had become friendly on a different group. And then all of a sudden to know that that person has decided that I'm not worth talking to, and my opinion sucks and doesn't matter because I don't worship their Lord and Master, is kind of hurtful. and it makes it kind of hard for me to go and exist in the same space as that person does.
Mm-hmm. Person, like, if you you trust this person, you spend time with this person, you get to know with as a friend and person, to all of a sudden this person to totally disregard you as a friend and to betray that trust, it's really hurtful. And to me, just like that is the total scumbag move you can do to the person.
It is. And then to have the situation that started,
and to intervene to someone else's relationship to the point that damaged that relationship, I have absolutely no respect for you as a person.
Raquel, I was just noticing chat. Kermit says he would like to get in and I guess speak his mind. Maybe.
Maybe. No. I'm not sure, Kermit. Maybe another night. Tonight is just not a good time. Today, I'm sorry.
No.
Not today. Today is just not a good day for it. I'm sorry.
I kind of feel like I kind of brought things down now.
No. It's just,
this stuff with me has been boiling to the surface for a little while now, and
it has for me as well.
There's nothing wrong with speaking your mind.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong about it, and I'm quite frankly, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of being in a situation that I believe that I don't deserve to be in, and I'm tired of being in this little dark corner that I want to get out of.
Right. Well, see,
and I just don't know. To be frankly, I feel like I'm in a rock and a hard place right now, and I just don't know where to turn. I feel lost.
Well, anything I can do to help you with whatever it is, man, I'm here.
Thank you, but I would take that opportunity, but for right now, I just don't want any more drama, and I'm trying to heal at this point.
I get you. Far be it from what I'm saying to be, I don't know that I'm even been affected to the same level as you have. I'm kind of getting the idea that yours got really deep, but being told that I can't, being told that when, especially when certain people know that I'm trying to get my start in this thing and everything, and then being told by certain people that, well, since I spoke against that person, that I'm not going to have any, they're going to make sure that I don't get started or whatever. It's just kind of, okay, I'm being canceled before I've even started, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, yeah, I know you put yourself in a public forum like this and things are going to happen, and that's just the price you pay. But something should be said for, trying to do your best, and giving people a chance, I guess. Yeah, I'm a very opinionated individual, and I've never hidden that.
Yeah, like DL said, speak your mind. There's nothing wrong speaking your mind.
Well,
you can only stay silent for so long.
Well, you helped me out one day. You and I talked on Messenger about the situation that I'm having problems with, and not being able to enjoy things I enjoy because of certain people, kind of damaging it for me and everything. And you made some really good points, and I took it to heart, and now I'm not letting those people affect me anymore. And for that, I say thank you, because you helped me, you helped me look at it from a different angle, that, I didn't have to conform to certain things just because I want to be me and I want to do my own thing,
Mm-hmm.
And, Feds helped a lot, and so has Jesse.
Well, thank you. I greatly appreciate that.
Oh, Kermit, I really don't want to name names, brother. Just some stuff, just some BS that happened on YouTube over some stuff that happened.
I don't want to name anyone's names either. I am not that kind of person. I am not going to rag on anyone publicly. It's just not who I am.
It's a, I have to say this, Kermit. It's a very
sticky situation. It's complicated.
A precarious situation, and there's complications involved, and it's friends of a friend and people that I used to subscribe to, and that I thought we had a certain rapport, and it just doesn't. Apparently, it isn't that way. The way I thought it was, because I differed in opinion about something, and suddenly that person has their subscribers coming at me, and I don't even know if it's them doing it or if it's just their subscribers doing it or whatever. But I've chosen to unsubscribe to certain people and just leave it at that. They were giving me a whole lot of negative feedback that wasn't constructive negative feedback. I hope that explains it somewhat. Look, man, I'm not anybody other than myself, and I've never professed to be perfect or godlike or whatever. But some of these people I've dealt with seem to think their shit doesn't stink, and that's not the truth. I mean, everybody has problems, everybody has opinions, and
no one's perfect. No one is perfect.
Some of these people need to realize that they aren't perfect.
Yes.
And that's what it's really got to come down to.
Or doing stuff that, how should I word this? Doing stuff that they know that's wrong, but do it anyway.
Yeah, that's pretty much the situation, Kermit. And it unfortunately has boiled over into my private life, which I've tried not to let it, but unfortunately it's caused me some issues because of certain things. And I mean, I'm one of these guys. I show my face sometimes on YouTube, but I don't use my actual name.
Me too. I sometimes I'll sometimes turn my camera on, sometimes I don't. And no, I don't use my real name on here.
And the reason I don't is because I have a lot of the things that I say or whatever could be not so good for other people. But I'm not going to let that hold me back for what I do and what I say and how I try to help people. I just don't want it boiling over into my private life. I'm kind of like those celebrities that kind of live quiet lives and don't put their kids in the spotlight and everything, and don't give a whole lot of information on their life, because, to be honest, I have had one shitty background, and a whole lot of people would jump on the bandwagon to crucify me if they heard what I was saying, and I just don't want that to happen. There's only one or two people that are involved with YouTube that actually know who I really am, and I appreciate those people for keeping my privacy.
Right. I agree. I don't want anything in my private life to be public. Mm-hmm. Only the ones I really know who I am. That's how it's gonna be.
And I just again want to say that Raquel has been a great help to me in basically Raquel does happen to know who I am, and the other night I had somebody ask me in a chat, well, why do you never show your face, or is that your real name, because it sounds made up? And quite frankly, it is a made up name, and it's who I am going to be here, and that's all it's ever going to be. because I don't ever intend on giving my real name on here because too many people.
Same as well. I'm not going to share my real name. I'm not going to. I'll show my face once in a while, but it's not anyone's business to know. Where I live. What's my real name, and
Sure.
What I do in my personal life. That's not anyone's business.
Basically all anybody knows on this thing is some of my past but I don't give names and I never tell situations. Some people know that I live in Texas. Some people know the places I have lived, but that's all stuff that can't be easily used to hurt me. Personally, one of the major reasons why I don't put my name out there, and it's going to make me think, and it's going to make some people consider that maybe I'm a liar or whatever about my life. But the reason why I don't put my real name out there is because people can use your real name to screw you over, especially on the internet. And I've had that shit happen before. And I've had people take and dig into my life and try to figure out everything they can about me just because I opened my mouth about a subject. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to let that happen again.
Right.
So to everybody that's ever asked me on YouTube, well, why don't you use your real name or why don't you show your face? Well, there's a simple reason. One, I want to entertain without having my own personal life affected. And two, it's none of your damn business.
True that.
And I made that very fucking clear to that person the other night. I was like, whoa, hold on a minute. That ain't none of your damn business. And just because I'm here on a public forum doesn't mean I have to bare my whole fucking soul for everybody to see.
Exactly.
I don't have to do that.
No.
I don't have to do that to entertain. Sorry.
No.
And if you feel... Go ahead.
For this YouTube thing, I'm not doing it for money. I'm just here, to have fun and make connections. That's it. And I'm not going to share my real name and what I do in my personal life to everybody out there. If I get to know you and we get along very well, yeah, I might, share my real name and, become good friends. But yeah, I want to really be careful because, to be quite honest, there's a lot of crazy people out there on the internet, and I really want to not only protect myself but my friends as well, and my family, especially my family.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's really important, and this is a quote from somebody that was a capo in my old family life that said, keep your circles small. It's the only way to know that you're going to be safe in everything that you do. And keep the ones that are truly there with you and on your side very small, because, 3 people can only keep a secret if 2 of them are dead. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that you shouldn't have friends. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have people that you trust, but I am saying this. Even sometimes the people that are closest to you can tear you down. And I don't trust it like I used to in a lot of cases, because I've had so many people attack me. I've had so many people say things about me. And, not everybody gets everything about me. And that's just how it's going to have to be. Because there are some things in my past that if you dug too deep into my past could hurt other people. And I'm not going to let that happen. And that's pretty much why I am the way I am. And I don't feel that you have to know everything about me to hear the things I have to say. That's been a really big problem with people in the world these days. Yes, Kermit, actually, I am on YouTube under this name. I just haven't built my channel completely yet. I've really been just spending time getting used to the whole YouTube idea, being on other people's streams and everything. But here within the next couple of months, I'm going to start like putting out videos and actually doing a more structured thing with my channel, because I'm not necessarily in it for monetization, but if I can somehow segment my economy, that I have my own personal economy with this, then, you know, cool, whatever. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, oh well, I'm not really all that worried about it. Literally, I am just here to maybe help people, maybe entertain, maybe, you know, this or that. You know, that's really all it is, to be honest. If I become monetized, awesome. If I start making money on this gig, then I'll go out and get some sponsors, you know, whatever. But no, am I going to try to be Simon Whistler or the top 10 most amazing people or anything? No, that's not my intention. But, you know, if it goes there, okay, cool, whatever. I just want to do what I can for people. I want to connect with people, like Raquel says, and I just want to meet like-minded individuals that I can discuss creepy and weird shit with and be crazy. You know, I started out with Pete's channel, and capitalize the name, Kermit.
Yeah, it was different for me. Different for me and DL. We found this side of YouTube through Mecca, and through Mecca, Pete, and then through Pete, it was Jesse Miller of the Crow's Nest.
It's really funny. I used to watch High Strangeness back in the day.
Yes.
And
I don't know how long. I think Pete said it had been going on for High Strangeness for a year, and he used to do like a panel group session with Tina, Fed, Mecca, and Jesse. But now Pete's just going solo. He does have occasional guests on his channel. But that's about it.
I think why Pete's done that is because he probably ran into some of the same stuff we're encountering, Raquel. Because there was a point where I noticed some of the comments on his stuff was kind of negative and everything. I think that doing Creepy Little Book and just doing his own thing, and why he doesn't like having people on the show unless he vets them and stuff like that, is because he doesn't want all the drama, and that's why he keeps things so chill over there.
Yes, you know? Like Pete doesn't want anything to do with drama, and I certainly understand that.
Well, yeah, and furthermore, Pete's a great guy.
Sure.
Pete is stuff that he talks about is just very interesting and stuff I have never heard before. So it's really intriguing to me.
And in fact, just to put it out there, I got in through High Strangeness. You know, I'd been looking at most YouTube stuff, but it was a lot of the more popular stuff and everything. But I started listening to High Strangeness, and then I actually found Dark Sayings before I found Creepy Little Book. And then
Dark Sayings is Pete's second channel.
Yeah.
You know, I think I forget what's on that channel. I think he just talks about, you know, creepy stories. I think
he does a lot of audio book stuff.
Yeah,
if I remember right.
But the thing is that I found Dark Sayings first, and then through Dark Sayings, I found Creepy Little Book. And for the longest time, I had subscribed to Creepy Little Book, but I didn't start watching it. Because for a long time on YouTube, I wasn't watching things that went for longer than at 30 minutes or whatever. And, you know, Pete's always got his shows always an hour and all that. And then one night I got bored. I was sitting here, had nothing to do, and I started listening to Pete. And then I got involved in the chat. And through the chat, I met a couple people. I met Jesse Miller and Courtney, and maybe even you, Raquel. I'm not sure. And, you know, I talked to some other people, person I mentioned earlier. But also, while all this was going on, I ran into, I'd gotten upset about the new Star Wars movies and all that. And that's where I found the Fandom Menace. And that's where I found Mecca and Ryan Kennel and Doomcock and all those people. And I started getting kind of active over there. And then I realized that there was just a lot of negativity over there. And I started gravitating more towards Pete. And then, Jesse actually shouted me out in one of his streams one time. And a couple of streams later, he did a panel stream. And I was like, "Hey man, can I get in on your panel?" And of course, he was accepting of that. And then it's just been off to the races since. I've kind of had this idea to do YouTube for a little bit, and but now it's actually becoming a thing, and it's pretty cool. I actually have people that I've never talked to before in other people's chats and stuff. Whenever they see me in a chat, they're like, "Oh, hey, Thane, how you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh wow. That's cool. I apparently people know me." And that's just kind of where it's gone from here.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate. I told Courtney one time the whole list of people that I appreciate, and I sent it to Raquel, and Raquel knows who I appreciate for getting me into this and for encouraging me to actually do this, because know it or not, I'm actually a pretty shy guy.
I am a shy person as well. It was Jesse that encouraged me to, do this YouTube thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I said,
and I think he's hit 1,000 subscribers. So he's
that
like,
is awesome. That is awesome.
I'm happy for him. So he's like finally, monetized, and he's been trying to get monetized since I have known him since last fall.
Yeah, I think I got into really big with Pete and everybody last summer. When I was, like I said, it was just one night. I was bored. I had nothing else to do, and I think I'd gone through all my subs for the month or for the day, and I come across Creepy Little Book, and I think the first show we did was something about. I think it was one of his Antarctica talks or something like that. Might have been a UFO thing. And that's when I just started getting involved, and then of course with Jesse Miller, I met him in the chat over at Pete's at Creepy Little Book, and started talking to him in the chat. And then I started watching Jesse Miller when he would stream the Friday the 13th video game, because I play it too.
Or as he likes to call it, Runge Bitch Theater.
Yeah, I love that title.
I don't know why he calls it that, but whatever.
It's Jason.
Run, bitch, run!
Run, bitch, run!
And he likes to also play GTA Online.
Yep.
I have never got into GTA Online, but it looks kind of fun.
Well, I played the original GTA games like GTA 3, GTA 4. I played Vice City and San Andreas, stuff like that. But I haven't played 5 yet, and I haven't played online. And now they're even talking about doing a GTA 6. My stuff has always been like fighting games and Call of Duty and stuff like that.
Call of Duty.
Yeah, I used to be.
I really like the Assassin's Creed series.
I love that series, but I've only played like 2 of those games, and I want to play the rest of them. But there's like 10 or 12 games now.
Mm-hmm. My favorite one is probably the Ezio story. That is my favorite one.
My favorite was the half Native American guy.
Oh, Connor.
Connor Hawk, yeah.
Yes.
I love that character, and I love that storyline. I also like Black
Flag.
Black Flag.
With I forgot the character's name, but it escapes me at the moment. But I know that they have Blackbeard, Ben Honeygold, Jack Rackham,
yeah,
Mary Reed.
But I liked those two, and I want to get into Assassin's Creed Valhalla, the new Viking one.
Oh yes, I have not seen that game yet, but I am looking forward to it.
And I want to play the one that was in ancient Greece. The Origin, I guess it's called, the one where they start out, where it starts out the whole Assassins thing.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think they've even got one in Egypt too. Or the Greek one might go through Egypt. I don't remember. But I know I looked at it and I was like, ooh, I got to play this eventually. And, one day I might do video game streams. I don't know. I have to get some better equipment before I start doing that, though.
Mm-hmm.
As Raquel knows, my computer is down, so right now I'm streaming from my phone, which is hit or miss.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of, Kermit, why I haven't started my channel fully yet, is because all I'm dealing with is my phone right now, and my internet over here is not what it needs to be. So.
Oh, that's not good. Can you, do anything about that?
Well, what it is they've got our apartment complex is locked out from everybody but Spectrum.
Mm.
And our owner is supposed to be working on getting, because the Spectrum account that we have for this address is a business account. It's not a residential account. So we can't get for just our personal apartments. So he supposedly turned in paperwork to Spectrum to get it switched from a business to a residential account so we can actually go out and get Spectrum internet. But until that happens, I'm really not going to try to do my channel. I'm just going to continue to do streams like this.
Mm-hmm.
Because I need a whole lot more when I start putting together my episodes and stuff like that. So, but I want to have my computer back and fixed, and I want to have good internet to where I can actually record the stuff I need to do. And if I want to add effects or whatever to my episodes or what have you, I can do that. And that's all very difficult to do from a phone. So that's why I've been kind of lax on actually starting anything.
Mm.
I'm just kind of waiting for them to. I'm not the only one waiting for internet over here. I got a girl that lives a couple of apartments over. She's in college, and she's doing not so good on her schoolwork because she can't get good internet over here. So she's doing her schoolwork.
I think DL dropped out.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Still be there. Oh, yeah, apparently you did. Hold on.
I think it's probably his phone giving him problems. All right,
hey,
here he's back.
Hi, Courtney.
What are you talking about? Shitty internet?
Yeah, shitty internet.
Yeah.
Hey, Courtney.
Hey, Courtney. How you doing, hon?
Hey, Courtney.
But yeah, I just, I kind of like what Fed has, or rather Delirium, when he does his Delirium stream where he has the eyeballs,
Yeah.
I kind of had an idea for what I want to do, for what I'm going to have up when I do my videos. Because I'm eventually going to change my name to Fade Bays at the Godfather's Den. And I want to have like a pool table with a fedora and an ashtray with a cigar in it, smoking. And then out of the corners of the pool table, I want to have like tentacles coming up every once in a while. Just because I do the whole creepy vibe thing, that's part of what I'm going to be doing.
Mm-hmm. Now, your avatar, you said it's the brother of Cthulhu, if I remember that correctly?
Yes, he is the brother of Cthulhu. He is one of the outer gods. His name is Gnarl-Hotep. He's also known as the Crawling Chaos, the Black Pharaoh, the Nameless One. He's basically the representative of the elder gods to the human race.
Ah.
And that is his true form on that picture. But he also walks around looking like an old Egyptian man with dressed up like an old Egyptian pharaoh would be. He's also been known to wear blue jeans and a black T-shirt and a leather jacket. So his, of course, all created by H.P. Lovecraft, and This has been kind of my thing, you know. I'm an old horror and sci-fi nut, and I love like existential horror kind of things. And I love the whole vibe of Pete's channel. And that's kind of what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to do like spooky content and, you know, cryptids and ghost stories and, you know, SCP stuff and everything. That's just kind of what my channel is going to be. And then the outline I've got kind of set up right now for my channel is I'm going to do 2 episodes a week. And then I'm going to do a weekend stream like this. I'm going to do, you know, a panel stream or just a sort of thought stream sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be like a chat where my subscribers can talk with me and everything else. And that's kind of how I'm going to do my channel when I finally get down to it. And of course, I might do like little short showcasing the Chihuahua because he's a freaking ham and he's tried to be in the camera a couple of times tonight. he's like, hey, Daddy, what you doing? Who you talking to?
To us.
He gets really trippy when he sees his you know, when he sees my phone screen and he sees himself in the camera.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh my God, it's another Chihuahua. And I'm like, no, dumbass, it's you.
You ever seen those animals when they attack themselves in the mirror? They've seen themselves.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, that is.
I mean, look at this pain in the butt here. I'm gonna see if I can stop that. See if I can get him in the picture real quick and without my face in it. Hold on. See, he's just kind of sitting here on me, being a bit of a ham.
Aww.
Oh, looky there.
Hey, look! I'm Wilson from my face, my glorious face.
You're Wilson from what? Castaway?
No, Home Improvement. Wilson, the neighbor you only ever saw.
Oh yeah. Always looked. You always saw like the top of his. Yeah.
Tim Allen was in that, right? I'm guessing.
Yes, that was actually Tim Allen's.
That was his breakout role.
Yeah,
really?
It was. Yep. He was actually in trouble with the law right before he started that because he had a cocaine conviction and he had just gotten off of the cocaine conviction.
Yeah.
When he took that show in the 90s.
You know what his real last name is?
No.
Dick. His last name is really Dick.
Really?
His name is Tim Allen Dick. And he was talking one day. Yeah. He said, I'm a dick. I'm a dick. Yeah, I'm a dick. So's my brothers. Both my brothers are dicks. Hell, my sister's even a dick.
Hold on, guys. Yes, Kermit, when I actually start doing my streams, I'm probably going to do panel streams when I first start out. So anybody be welcome to join. I only have a couple of rules. One, don't say anything that's going to get my channel blown up because if you do, I will make your life hell. Mm-hmm. And 2, speak your mind, but watch what you say. Just be calm, cool, and collected, and don't do what certain people have done on streams I've been on before. And we'll be all good, man. So yeah, when I actually start doing my streams, brother, I'll subscribe to me and everything, and I will let you know when I actually go live with my channel. Okay, brother? Not a problem. I'm pretty much welcome to anybody, coming and talking to me or wanting to jump on the stream and talk, man. As long as you keep it civil, I'm good. So
yeah, everyone's welcome to come on here as long as you're polite and civil. I have no problem with you.
Yeah, and if if you're going to go with yourself on camera, don't do anything unfortunate that's going to get me channel struck.
No, exactly. Yeah. I know. Yeah, don't. If you do something stupid, I am going to kick you off the stream. I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna deal with that.
The reason why you're not finding my channel just yet is I haven't made it public for everybody, Kermit. again, I don't have any content just yet, so I don't see the point in making my channel live yet. So when I do, I will most definitely let you know. I'm actually going to be letting a lot of people know.
Well, I'm looking forward to it when it gets running.
Oh, I mean, it will, and like I said, Deranged, you're more than welcome to come on. Raquel, of course you are. Being as you're one of my, what I consider my inner circle at this point.
Aw, thank you.
And hell, I'd even like to have Pete on sometime if he could find the time. I honestly think he's a stand-up dude, and I appreciate that his channel is just chill as hell. And even when people try to push stuff, it's just like, hey man, chill out, And the thing I love the most over there on Pete's channel is when somebody's trying to be a nuisance in chat, man, we all like gang up on them, like, hey, leave, chill out, and all that. It's not just his mods, we all kind of look out for Pete, and because he needs he runs a pretty tight ship over there, and he runs a quiet channel, and we appreciate that.
There was one night in the chat, somebody was all over Fed, and I tell you what, everybody in that chat was all over that person like stink on shit.
Well, it's because Fed's my buddy, you know what I'm saying, and I'm always going to defend him, just like I'm going to defend Jesse, just like I defend Raquel, just like I defend you and Darius Munchausen, Deranged. You guys have all had something to provide to me, and you've all been, either had something cool to say, or I've learned something from you, or you've been supportive of my endeavors, and I appreciate that. And trust me, when I start my channel, that appreciation will not go unrewarded. The good things that you do for me, the encouragements that you give me will not go unrewarded when it comes to what I do with my channel. If I can figure out a way to do it, if I get monetized or whatever, I may even just let a few people just be my inner circle. I may make a tier just for y'all, and just give you things that I can, you know what I'm saying? If it goes that far, I may just, like some of the stuff that people provide for like people that join their channel instead of just subscribe, I may just do that for you guys. You know what I'm saying? Like certain people that I feel I appreciate the most.
Only place you got to go is up. I mean, you're starting off and you're up.
Well, like I said, I'm not in it for the fame. I'm not in it for anything. What I'm in it for is to entertain and to maybe help somebody that needs it. And if that, if I become monetized, if I get enough people that listen to me ramble on, then hey man, that's great. If I never do, if all I ever have is 100 subscribers, man, that's cool too, because we can always have little group chats like this, or like we do with Fed, and I'd be more than okay with that, man. If I make videos for 100 people and that's all that ever watch my shit, oh well, at least somebody's watching me.
I really don't care if I get monetized or not. Like I said, I'm only here for fun and making connections. That's it.
I have all sorts of friends. When I tell them I mess with this YouTube thing, they're like, oh man, you gonna try to get monetized? Well, that's not entirely my whole purpose, but I mean, like I say, if it happens, it happens. And say I get monetized here on YouTube, I may, put my stuff on BitChute, or I might put my stuff on Odyssey, or I might do like that, just to, show that I've grown a little bit, But am I going to let that shit go to my head? Hell no. I'm still going to be me. I'm still going to be the Godfather's son. I'm still going to be the guy sitting there in the billiard room telling you spooky shit from the shadows. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm ever going to be. And if something I say, chatting with you or whatever, resonates with you and it helps you get through something in your life, well, cool, man. If you want to just, have a backstage stream and you need to chat about something and it's something I can help you with, man, by all means, just let me know, Hey, Thade, I got something I need to get off my mind. Can we talk? And I'll set up a StreamYard. We'll backstage it, man. It doesn't even have to be live, man. We'll talk. You know, I'm here for people. I'm not just doing this for me, you know. And that's my whole point. Yeah, I got a buddy over here that lives near me. He's, you know, my best friend kind of at this point. And he you know, his thing with me is, man, are you going to monetize this? Are you going to make money? What's your hustle going to be? And I don't fault him, you know, man, it's all good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get what he's getting at, and, you know, cool. You know, whatever. If I can make money off of it, I will. If I can't, oh, well, you know, it's not, like I said, it's not a big deal. I'm just going to try to grow it as much as I can and as much as it'll allow.
Yeah.
You know, and if people do for me like they do for Pete, like, you know, send me stuff or whatever, if people want to start doing that, I'll even set up a PO box. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that all comes down to, you know, it's like I told somebody earlier today, the relationship that I walked out of, you know, one never knows what the future holds. You know, one never knows what may happen in a year, you know. So this isn't goodbye entirely. It's just ta-ta for now. You know what I'm saying? And because I have to sort some stuff out in my own life before I can be what I need to be for other people, you know. And this is part of that. This is me coming to terms with things in my life. This is me. I've never been one to just sit and suffer by myself, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's therapeutic, you know, to talk, you know, to other YouTubers who's gone through the same shit.
Yeah.
You know.
And I appreciate that, Kermit. I really do. I appreciate people who debate me. Man, you don't have to always agree with me. I appreciate people who give me a differing opinion, because maybe that'll help me build my opinion going further in life. You know, my uncle used to say, you got to learn something new every day. The day you stop learning is the day that you just as well lay down in the hole in the ground and pull the dirt in over your head. Because the day you stop learning is the day that you're dead. So, man, you got something to share with me. You got something to tell me. You got something that just tickles the hell out of you, or something you enjoy and you think I might, man, by all means, let me know. Because I'm always up to learning new stuff. And I'm always up to chilling with friends. I'm always up to, you know, just, you know, I'm the kind of guy that would sit around with a bunch of friends, crack a bottle of wine, and tip glasses and talk all night, you know. I'm the kind of guy that'll pass the peace pipe all night, you know. I would much rather sit and chat and bullshit with people all night than fight and bicker and let the world eat me alive, you know? And that's why I enjoy these little live chats. Yes, I do. I enjoy the live streams, even though my puppy looks at me strange.
He's like, who the hell are you talking to?
He's like, you talk more when you look at that phone than you talk to me. And I'm like, nah, that's a lie. You just don't have anything interesting to say like they do. Your interest is what's going on outside, and my food dish is empty.
Well, one night Raquel heard me, or did you hear me choking, or was that I stepped away? You know, I ate something that was a little too dry. And I'm like, I'm choking here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even know you were choking, and like when you told me, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. I'm like, good thing I had an RC handy. Damn, I wish I had an RC right now. But
hey, you know, Kermit, the only thing I've got to say about that, you know, it's a good thing that you don't judge anybody. But man, I'm always up for teasing. I'm always up for somebody, razzing me and giving me a hard time because that keeps me on my toes, brother. It's what we call back in my old family, we call that breaking balls. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, we're not doing anything here. We're just breaking balls. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with breaking balls. It keeps you on your toes. As long as it's fun and lighthearted and it doesn't get too far, Remember, I'm a comedian at heart, people. The absurd is my bread and butter. What? What do you want?
Tonight on Creepy Little Book is the Brothers Grimm.
Interesting topic.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, there will be.
I like the whole Grimm's fairy tale stuff. It's, and none of those stories ended well.
They are pretty dark.
None of those stories ended well, man. Them and Hans Christian Andersen.
Yep.
That guy was the guy who created The Little Mermaid, and man, that story ends dark. And then, of course, you've got the Hunchback of Notre Dame, which doesn't end well. A lot of those old fables and stuff don't end well, but they were written to make you think. They were written to make you see life. You know what I'm saying? They were written to make a point. Too much today, people expect stories to do a specific thing or to please them in every way. That's not what stories and what entertainment is for. Entertainment's there to make you think and to teach you something new. It's not there just to give you everything you want in your fandom. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's my big problem with the new Star Wars movies. They were all fandom. They were all just made to please the fans. And yes, there has to be a certain amount of that, but don't make it all complete fan service. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you're catering to the wrong damn fans.
Don't piss on your lifelong fans, that's for sure.
Well, don't sit here and turn your those of us that grew up with Star Wars, they took Luke Skywalker and turned him into a hateful old man, and he was our hero. That was who we followed. You know what I'm saying? They turned Han Solo. They basically took Han Solo and the whole storyline of him falling in love with Leia and doing what he was doing instead of for money but for love. They just kind of turned him back into a smuggler again.
Yeah. They basically took the people we grew up with and shit all over them. Pretty much. Just for what? To make this one girl that no one's ever heard of out to be the superhero? Nah. No flaws.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing, I actually liked Finn, the stormtrooper, more than I liked Rey.
Yeah, they could have really done something with his storyline, but they just kind of pissed him away too.
Well, they did that because they were trying to make that China money, and they don't really like people of color in China. So they minimalized. They even talked about it. They minimalized him on the posters, even.
Yep.
So that they didn't offend China, because that's where a lot of entertainment money comes from, is out of China. And that's why fucking Cena opened his stupid ass mouth a couple weeks ago and all that. And then it backfired on him. You know what I'm saying?
Sure did.
Fast 9 really didn't do as well as they wanted it to. They got beaten by A Quiet Place too.
Which I hear is a good movie.
Oh, it's spectacular. I've actually gotten a chance to watch it. It's really good. And surprisingly, another one that just recently came out that was really good was The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It. Was actually a really good movie, surprisingly.
You would think they'd be running out of gas on that one.
Man, The Conjuring. Okay, look, I'm going to just say it, and it's an unpopular opinion with a lot of people, but I actually believe a lot of what Ed and Lorraine Warren were doing was true. Okay, I don't think they were entirely frauds. Now, did they make up some shit? Well, of course they did. You know, you've got to spice up the story. You know what I'm saying? But I know I met Lorraine Warren, and she was actually, in my opinion, a legitimate talent. She knew things that she wouldn't have known if she was just faking it. You know,
she just died not too long ago, didn't she?
Last year, I believe. It was either last year or 2019. Boy, stop that.
What's going on?
My dog was chewing on one of the wall jams around the floor. I don't know what the hell you call those, the bunting or whatever the fuck. He was chewing on one of them. And I was telling him, no. Well, I agree with you, Kermit, but what I'm saying is that it's not so much that Han didn't want to work with the Republic, but you do know he was a general for quite a while. But that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is even in the extended universe Star Wars stuff, he did what a lot of the things he did for Leia and for his children. And what the sequel movies turned him into was, you know, they sent his son to be a Jedi, and then he just basically, him and Leia just kind of abandoned each other. You know, she went back to her politics and he went back to smuggling, you know. And that goes totally against, in my opinion, what Han was in the extended universe stuff. As for the story with Pocahontas, yeah, she got a bad deal, bro. She got drugged to England and basically treated like a slave to the man she married.
Who's that?
Pocahontas.
Oh, yeah.
We were talking about. You know, she got basically used as a sex slave by the British guy she married. And she got smallpox when she came to Britain, and she died at 21. It was a really sad story. She did not have a pleasant life. And it wasn't John Smith she ended up marrying either. It was another dude. But she basically got taken back to Britain and paraded around like a fucking oddity because she was, you know, a Native American. That was a shitty life for that poor woman to have to go through.
She was a savage, according to them.
Yeah, well, fuck them. They were more savage than she was.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I can say that because I've lived in Britain. I know how the British were, and I'm a student of history. I know how people are. You know, and a lot of, you know, I'm not trying to get race, you know, into the whole racial thing or anything, but yes, there is a lot of evidence to say that the white man has been bad to a lot of indigenous people, but that doesn't mean it carries over to today. You know, leave the sins of the past in the past. Still learn from them, but don't make modern people suffer for the sins of the father or the sins of the ancestors. Okay, that's my point on that, and that's as far as I'll go with that because that's a very touchy subject with a lot of people.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it is.
And I could go further with that, but I refuse to because I'm considered white, but I'm only, in my opinion, half white because Sicilians do not see themselves as Caucasian. And I'm only half Caucasian. I'm half Norwegian and British on my dad's side. And you know, so even though I do have lighter skin, I am olive skinned. I am Italian of origin, so I get the bull crap about white privilege all the time, and I just look at people and go, "Where's my privilege?"
That's what I want to know. Where's my privilege?
I'm out here struggling just like everybody else. But again, I don't want to get too deep into that because I could rant for hours. And a lot of people don't want to hear it, and that's a real hot button discussion right now, and I don't want to get Raquel in any trouble. So,
thank you.
But anyway, that's just my opinion on that, and that's where I'll leave. Or as Forrest Gump said, that's all I want to say about that.
Life's like a box of chocolate. You never know what's going to get. Jenny.
As for Han, again, in the extended universe stuff, he was a general up until Dark Empire. And then he kind of laid off as he was getting older in age, and he was wanting to be more of a family man and do that. So in the extended universe, Han Solo was only a general up until Dark Empire, when Palpatine was reborn. Beyond that, though, after that, he just kind of became a family man and kind of did sort of odd jobs for the Republic, but not a whole lot of like deep in there stuff during the New Republic era. And yes, I know a lot of knowledge about the extended universe Star Wars. Anything you want to ask me, I can discuss with you. Star Wars was my jam for a very long time, and when he sold it to Disney, I felt really betrayed because they took 30 years of books and totally threw them out the fucking window. When they could have worked with that. They came in and they said, well, we want to write our own stories. We don't want to get stuck in these, even with all that stuff that was written, they could have done, the Star Wars universe is such a big, open, thing. They could have done anything they wanted to do in that. They didn't have to take away 30 years of fucking books that we had knowledge of, that the fandom had, and just totally throw it away for their woke bullshit.
They're trying to say that, we didn't have any reference material. Really? You didn't, huh?
You had 30 years worth of okayed canon by Lucas, because every one of those books that got written over the 30 years, up until from the start of Star Wars up until Disney took them over in 2013, in that 30-year time period, every one of those books had to be okayed by Lucas before they got published. So right there, you had 30 years of canon you could have worked inside of. You chose not to because you wanted to come up with this fucking narrative bullshit that you want to do, and you want to push the Force is female and all this other bullshit. Well, you could have made a strong female character, a strong female hero, and not had to push an agenda. And let me just name one specific from science fiction, one specific very strong female hero, Ellen Ripley from the Aliens movies. She was a strong female hero, and it didn't push a fucking agenda. So don't sit here and tell me that you have to push an agenda to get your strong female heroes out there. You don't.
Well, Princess Leia was a strong character. I mean,
Princess Leia was a strong female character.
Yeah.
Even Mon Mothma was a strong female character. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It sickens me when they use an excuse to push an agenda. I actually did read the Forrest Gump book. I also read Gump and Company, which was the sequel book.
To me, the movie was better than the book.
It was. The book was very, very big hyperbole.
Mm-hmm.
The book was pushing it a little bit. I mean, the movie pushed it far enough. But you also have to see that as through the eyes of a man that was developmentally challenged and everything else.
He was the wrestler known as the Turd. If I remember.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But again, you have to look at the whole Forrest Gump story through the eyes of a man that was developmentally challenged.
Oh, yeah.
That had been told his whole life he was important by his mama. And yeah, he may have actually did some of those things, life-wise. And I wouldn't think that he would. I have to say, he was a little too pure to have lied about his life. But it was embellished a whole lot because, again, he was developmentally challenged. And that was the idea you get from the books, if you pay attention to the books, the two, Forrest Gump and Gump and Company.
Well, if I remember right, in the Forrest Gump book, nobody died. If I remember right, everybody lived. I think Mama lived and Jenny lived.
Mama lived, but Bubba died. That was a catalyst. That was a catalyst for part of what he did with his life.
I never read the second book, so I don't know what it's all about.
They really did overplay the Imperial Remnant in the EU, Kermit. I will agree with you there. The Remnant should have faded away after Palpatine failed, or rather after Warlord Zinj failed. They should have petered out with the Republic, with the Imperial Remnant. And they eventually did after the Yuuzhan Vong crisis, when they went into the Jedi stuff and all that. They could have had other bad guys like the Vong. They had the Chiss ascendancy. There were other things they could have done with the Imperial Remnant, instead of just going back to the Imperial Remnant. It had its purpose, but really the Imperial Remnant sort of changed after the Yuuzhan Vong thing. That's when Admiral Paleon, who was the last of the Grand Admirals, changed and actually joined the New Republic. Was after the whole Yuuzhan Vong crisis. As for Han, like I said, he kind of stopped being a general after the whole Dark Empire thing. When Anakin, his son Anakin, was put in danger by the Reborn Emperor, that's when he kind of kicked back and took more of a, and as did Leia as well, step back from the Republic and start being more of a family than they were, political or soldiers.
But by that time, wasn't it a little bit too late for what was their son's name in the movie? I can't even remember.
Ben.
Oh, I actually guessed it. Oh my God. Dang.
Yeah, which in the extended universe stuff, it was Luke that named his son Ben, because Han and Leia had Jason and Jaina, the twins, and they had Anakin.
Yeah.
He died fighting the Yuuzhan Vong. Anakin died fighting the Yuuzhan Vong when he was in his teens. And Jason died later on during the Jedi crisis, when he became Darth Caedius. He fell to the dark side and was basically killed by his sister. So the only solo child in the extended universe, or what they call Star Wars Legends now, is Jaina. That's it. And she ended up marrying Baron Sunterfell's son, who became the leader of the Chiss Ascendancy. And they started what they called the Imperial Knights, which were another group of Jedi-like people. Well, that was the problem with the Empire. After you took away their figurehead, Kermit, you took away the Emperor, and they didn't have anybody to fall to. To follow. So they just started following these warlord Grand Admirals, and that fell apart. The only intelligent Grand Admiral of the Empire after Palpatine died was Admiral Paleon. All the other warlords kind of just offed themselves or offed each other. Oh, and Admiral Dala, she was actually also pretty intelligent. And she ended up being a problem during the Jedi crisis later on after the Yuuzhan Vong thing. Yeah, again, I'm a nerd. I know way too much about Star Wars. In fact, I could probably, with just the legend stuff, I could probably sit here and talk for hours.
You could teach a class on it.
And I'm not even discussing my favorite timeline. I'm more of the ancient Sith War kind of guy. I'm not like Republic and Empire and all of that. That's not my jam. I'm like ancient Star Wars history. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like the original Jedi and Sith Wars and Exar Kun and Hewitt Quildroma and all them guys. Back when the Jedi actually made fucking sense. Honestly, during the prequel movies, the Jedi needed to fall. They were more corrupt than the Republic. Fucking baby nappers who wouldn't allow people to fall in love. Thrawn was far and above an actual He was a brilliant tactician, but he was the only alien Grand Admiral. He was the only alien that Palpatine really trusted.
So you're saying the Jedi were a bunch of cock blockers?
Basically. Well, I mean, look at it, man. If they had just allowed Anakin to admit that he was married to Padme, and if they would have just given her protection because she was the wife of a Jedi, of a Jedi general, no less, I don't think he would have tripped balls like he did.
I think he would have either.
If Dala? Yes, she clashed with Luke. And that's what caused the Jedi crisis. She wanted to wipe the Jedi out. She was as bad as Palpatine. Anyway, yes. In my opinion, if Mace Windu had trusted Anakin when he went to arrest Chancellor Palpatine, Anakin would have never become Vader. Because you have to look at what Anakin wanted in the prequel movies. And what he appreciated the most, which was loyalty. Right, Deranged?
I'd say so.
He appreciated loyalty. If you were loyal to him, he would go to hell for you. But the simple point of the matter is when he went to Mace Windu and said, "Hey, I know who the Sith Lord is. It's Palpatine. Can I go with you?" And Mace Windu looked at him and said, "No, because I don't trust you," basically. And if you stay here, then you will have gained my trust, was his exact words. And that was a huge fucking mistake, I think. Because Anakin wasn't going to stay put. Mace Windu should have known that. And if he'd allowed Anakin to go with him, Palpatine would not have been able to influence Anakin as badly as he did. Because you have to see what Anakin walked into when he watched Mace Windu have Palpatine in a corner weak. He saw Mace Windu as being the bad guy. He saw Mace Windu as being the monster.
I'd tell you what, if he had been along, those other Jedi Masters would have survived a lot longer, too.
Yeah, that kind of depressed me because no, Anakin did not sleep very well because he had a whole hell of a lot of prophetic dreams, and that was his problem, too. He, being born the way he was, being a virgin in the Force, he saw a lot more prophecy than even Yoda saw. And it frightened him, but he always got at his nightmares and bad dreams, and he worried a lot about people, and he didn't have detachment. And yes, there's a place for that. There's you can follow the Jedi way and still love. You can follow the Jedi way and still have a family. You can follow the Jedi way and not let death bother you as much as it frightened Anakin, but they did not teach him well, especially for a kid that came into being a Jedi at 9 years old. The ancient Jedi knew better how to train people from older ages than the Republic era Jedi ever did. And Luke in the extended universe tried to go back to doing that, but these Disney Star Wars sequels made Luke out to be just as bad as the old Jedi, and that was not what Luke was about at all.
Imagine how Anakin would have been if he would have been trained by Mace Windu instead of Obi-Wan.
Oh, imagine how Anakin would have been had he been actually trained by Qui-Gon Jinn instead of Obi-Wan.
True. That's another.
Qui-Gon was a strong teacher, and he didn't agree with the council. I mean, think about it, people. He knew that the Jedi were messing up.
Yeah.
And he didn't always follow the council. That's why he was never a Jedi council member. He was a Jedi master, yes, but he was never a council member. And it was because he did not agree with what Mace Windu and the council and Yoda were doing. Because they were basically, until the Clone Wars started, they were basically hiding in their little temple, dictating to 10,000 superhumans how they should live their life. You know? I mean, it's like if Professor X had sat there and told all of the thousands of mutants on planet Earth that they could only act a certain way. You know? And then they wondered why they lost people to the dark side. Well, it's because you held people back. You didn't let them be human. You made them be little automatons. That's why I prefer the ancient Jedi over the Republic era Jedi above and beyond, because the ancient Jedi, you know, they knew that you had to have families to continue on. They knew that you had to do this or that. You know, they knew that you had to have some attachment to do the job that you're supposed to do.
I'm sorry, you go ahead, brother.
You can't just be a sterile fucking Vulcan and live life. Hell, even Spock realized that.
Yeah.
You can't just live your life by pure logic. It doesn't work. It stagnates. You have to have feeling. You have to have emotion. You have to love to get on with life. And I'm sure you guys will agree with that.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm only improved by the people that love me and the people I love. I'm not improved by solitude. I'm not improved by just duty alone. You have to have something to get away from that monastery life. You know what I'm saying? You have to, I mean, it's all well and good if you're going to live your life a Jedi. Cool, I get that. And it's just like being a cop or a soldier or anything else. But you have to give yourself an outlet from that. You know what I'm saying? You have to give yourself family or somebody to love or somebody to fucking fight for fuck's sake. You know? A person fights harder if he has something to fight for. Love of country, love of family, love of friends, love of life. And that was the problem with the Jedi. They stagnated. After the Rusan Reformations, after the last major Sith war, when they thought they had wiped out the Sith, and they changed everything during the Rusan Reformations, and they created the modern Jedi, they fucked the dog on it, man. They screwed up. They took to being monks. And it's the same problem, you know, I'm going to be a little controversial here, but it's the same problem the Catholic priests have. You know? They really have nothing to make them fight for life. You know, they have the church, but that's not always enough, you know? And the Republic era Jedi treated it as a religion less than an institution, you know? That's not what the Jedi were originally meant to be. It had nothing to do with a religion. It had nothing to do with a monastic lifestyle. It was just training people to use special abilities so they don't take it in an evil way. And honestly, I think the Jedi that were the most right were not the Force users that were the most right were not the Jedi, and they weren't the Sith. They were those that walked the gray path, like Ahsoka Tano and a couple of others I could name. You know, you have to understand that the world is both good and evil. You can't have one without the other. And knowing that you can, you know, the Force, I have to say it, the Force is neither good nor evil. It's what you intend on doing with it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the line needed to be drawn. But the Jedi were on one side of it, and the Sith were on the other side of it. And they never, most of them, now I told Raquel the other day, there were Sith that that not all Sith were evil. They just had a certain viewpoint.
From a certain point of view.
Right. And not all Sith use dark Force abilities. Some just used the Force. They were just about living for themselves. They weren't about living for the Republic. They weren't about living for
Now, would you consider Mace Windu a great Jedi?
No. He tried. I mean, I'm not saying he didn't give it an effort, but he was just as flawed as the rest of them. If you really want to know a good Jedi, in my opinion, I'm even going to go out there and say that even Master Yoda wasn't a good Jedi. But the thing about Yoda was he knew that. Yoda realized where he failed. Mace Windu didn't. And that's why Mace died the way he did. If he died, we're not really even sure that he did die.
No, I'm sorry. I said Mace Windu. I meant Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon was what a Jedi should have been.
Yeah.
Qui-Gon was a gray Jedi. Qui-Gon walked the gray path. He only used the Jedi name because he was looking after people he cared for, like Obi-Wan and Anakin and other people. What Qui-Gon believed in was justice. What Qui-Gon believed in was balance. And you cannot be balanced if you toe completely the Jedi way or you toe completely the Sith way, okay? There has to be a balance. And that's what Luke Skywalker represented. That's what Anakin should have represented. And in a way, the prophecy of the Skywalker, or the prophecy of the Chosen One, was correct. It was Anakin that brought balance in the Force. But Anakin brought that balance by loving his son. You get where I'm coming from? When he went in Return of the Jedi and he saw Palpatine torturing his son, he finally got the point. He finally got what he'd been missing for 20 years. That what's important is family. What's important is those you love. Not power, not glory, not what Palpatine wanted. When he saw his son getting murdered, basically with Force lightning, he realized that what he was really fighting for his whole damn life was not even himself. It was his child. It was his children. It was the twins. It was Luke and Leia. It was a better life and a balance for those people that he loved. And that's the whole point. I mean, even George Lucas would sit there and tell you that the Jedi were not right. That it's all shades of gray. That light and darkness is not the answer. You know, it's to realize that the world is shades of gray. Okay.
Is it like a yin and yang?
Right. And that's the whole point of yin and yang. If you look at it, it's the white raindrop with a black spot in it, and it's the black raindrop with a white spot in it swirling together. And what that is, that shows true balance in life. And to use another fandom here, it's like Mr. Miyagi said, walk on a road. Walk left side, safe. Walk right side, safe. Walk middle, sooner or later you get to squish.
Yeah.
You know, but what he really meant, what he was doing was he wasn't saying walk on the right side, the good side or the bad side. He was talking about balance, and he was saying what he said ironically. What he was really meaning was to have Daniel realize that middle road is where you need it to be. You know, because he stressed balance all the time.
Hey, I don't mean to interrupt you, but Pete's gonna be starting here pretty soon.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to end this. We might be back maybe after or tomorrow.
I'm up for
actually, or actually say later today.
I'm up for after if you guys want to.
Sure.
I have very short tomorrow, and I'm kind of enjoying where this conversation is going. So if we can pick this up after,
I got no problem with that.
If you can stay in the back for a minute, Sade, I need help with something.
Okay, that's fine.
All right. Okay, you guys, we'll meet you on Creepy, and have a good night. Bye.